All right. We are live. I am an hour late because I had lovely audio issues today, but got those finally figured out, and I'm here to talk shop about what happened today, which, by the way, pro tip, don't release a video at the exact same time that breaking news happens. It will absolutely kill your video's performance. My luck today is that I released a video literally at the exact time that the protests turn into a riot at the Capitol building, and obviously now no one cares about that video. So, lesson learned. But if you're here, say something in chat. Let me know you're here. Happy to chat tonight and look over what in the world is going on with the election, with election certification, I guess, and even I think Ilhan Omar is drawing up impeachment articles, which is amazing to me. We'll see how this all shakes out. I'm gonna post a link to this on Facebook. I should update the thumbnail for this because that is not correct. Will it let me? Sweet, it will let me. Let's see if I can't get this right. There we go. wonder if this will actually update anytime soon. Cool. Well, welcome to the stream. We're gonna talk some election stuff and see if we can't make some sense of this. I don't really have an outline or set plan tonight. I wanted it to be kind of a free-flowing conversation, as far as me and anyone who wants to tune in and hang out. But yeah, today has been a wild day. Waking up to news that that the Georgia Senate seats flipped, and I'm trying to remember exactly at what point the Senate seats, or the last time that the Senate seat flipped a single states, both of their seats flipped houses or flipped parties in the same election, and I'm trying to think of exactly what year that was. Let's see. A state's Senate flipped. Let's see. Oh, can't find it. 2001? Was it 20 years ago? Oh, no, that was when the two parties were split. I'm pretty sure it was sometime in the 1900s that was the last time that happened. And I think Trump is the first president since 1934 to lose re-election and lose control of both arms of the government, from the Senate and the House, which is also wild to me. But today has been a crazy day. And I guess I expected this to some degree, but not really. Like, it didn't surprise me that this had happened, that protesters had stormed the Capitol. I think that anyone who was, I guess, even remotely paying attention to any right-wing talk or I guess ultra or far right-wing talk, I should be more specific here. Yeah, wasn't surprised by this. A lot of them have been talking about civil war for weeks, and there were even some recordings released of alt-right individuals talking about. Today was a day that was planned to some degree, like planned for and anticipated. And then Trump puts out, and I'm going to see if I can find it. Trump shows up to this. Trump shows up to this demonstration and protest today, and I'm wondering if I can find his actual. Let me see. Nice. Two of Trump's tweets were actually removed earlier today. Wild. Like, three of Trump's tweets were actually removed. Okay, hold on. I need to fix this. 1 second. I'm gonna. All right, perfect. So this is wild, okay? So three of his tweets, 1, 2, 3, removed. Straight up removed by Twitter for violating the rules. And Trump's actual call to end protesting in a video, he starts by affirming that the election was stolen, and basically affirming the feelings of all of those currently protesting, and then telling them to go home. But he validates all of their feelings. Like, I can't think of a better example in the last 2 months, and it's sad that it would be even the last 2 months, of dog whistling, because that's exactly what that is. And I know it, like, to anyone who, I guess, is trying to be sympathetic, he's trying to identify with them and not dismiss their feelings outright, but instead what he actually does is affirm those feelings actively, and then ends up encouraging them. And, like, that's just, in my mind, that is one of the best examples of dog whistling I can possibly think of. All right, I'm gonna fix my camera here. There we go. And fix that as well. There we go. Cool. Let's see if I can find someone replied with a clip of Trump. Where is it? I wonder if I can find it. Oh, what am I doing? I'll just Google it. It's fine. I'll just Google it. Are any of these an actual video? Okay, that's a video. I'm just not paying attention. Oh, I don't want to watch 2 hours of. To
uphold our Constitution. They've turned a blind eye even right now. Do me a favor, go back 8 weeks. I want to go back 8 weeks. Today I will lay out just some of the evidence proving that we crazy, that people don't even believe it. It can't be true. So they don't believe it. This is not just a... So today, in addition to challenges to quickly pass sweeping, today is not the end. It's just to do it before we have no... Quickly pass sweeping election reforms, and you better do it before we have no country.
Yeah, so listen to this, because he quite literally, when you have a supporter base that is already riled up, that is already so focused on like defending whatever and stopping the steal, and has already actively talked about civil war and everything else, and Trump has played to a very to a white supremacist base. Yes, he's denounced it, also knowing that a lot of that wouldn't get coverage, but also like he's never really taken a hard stand against it. And if you want a good example of this, you can look at actually today. But let me get to that in a minute, because this is the clip that kind of spurred on today.
Quickly pass sweeping election reforms, and you better do it before we have no country left. Today is not the end. It's just the beginning. With your help over the last 4 years, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country, and nobody even challenges that. I say that over and over, and I never get challenged by the fake news, and they challenge almost everything we say. But our fight against the big donors, big media, big tech, and others is just getting started. This is the greatest in history. There's never been a movement like that. You look back there all the way to the Washington Monument. It's hard to believe. We must stop the steal, and then we must ensure that such outrageous election fraud never happens again, can never be allowed to happen again. But we're going forward. We'll take care of going forward. We got to take care of going back.
I was too early. Okay, here it is.
We got rid of catch and release. Biden's getting in the cap. Can't let it happen. As this enormous crowd shows, we have truth and justice on our side. We have a deep and enduring love for America in our hearts. We love our country. We have overwhelming pride in this great country, and we have it deep in our souls. Together we are determined to defend and preserve government of the people. Greatest achievements still wait. I think one of our along had any idea how corrupt our elections were. And say, I want to thank you very much. Here, something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight more. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors for our children, my fellow Americans, for our movement, for our children, and for our beloved country. And I say this, despite all that's happened, the best is yet to come. So we're going to walk down Pennsylvania. We're going to try and give, the Democrats are hopeless. They're never voting for anything. Not even one vote. But we're going to try and give our Republicans, the weak ones, because the strong ones don't need any of our help. We're going to try and give them the kind of pride and boldness that they need to take back our country. Thank you all. God bless you.
Nope, can't find it. We're going to find that clip. One way or the other, we're going to find that clip. Wow. So apparently Twitter is blocking. Is that actually true? Yep. His account's been locked for 12 hours. Wild. Okay. Okay, here's the here's the evidence of the double standard that Trump has.
No, you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special.
We love you. You're very special. And when it came to Charlottesville, there are fine people on both sides, apparently. But when it came to Black Lives Matter protesters, even the peaceful ones, Trump came out against them hard. Like, I don't know how to express this because, like, there is no comparison between the Black Lives Matter protests and this. Like, yes, there were destructions. There was destruction at the ones that did turn violent and turn into riots, but they never stormed a Capitol building, which, by the way, this is the second time now that conservative protesters have done this, given that and in addition to a plot to kidnap Michigan's governor. Like, today should have been a surprise to no one because we had plenty of warning that something like this would happen. But, oh well. You've got Trump saying you are very special and we love you.
We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Yeah, this is just one of those things that is very clearly a anyone who already supports Trump and is out there on the streets here sees this message, and like that kind of message is only going to get them more riled up, not less. Like that's not the message that stops a protest or that stops a riot in any way, shape, or form. Yet here we are. Now let me see if I can find. I still want to find that. Let me see if I can find this clip. Yeah. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore, right? Together we are determined to defend and preserve the government, preserve government of the people, by the people, for the people. Wait, so I think I actually did have the clip then. I think I did have the clip right. I guess I just had it playing from the wrong spot. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find this. Trump speech January 6th.
Cast by the registered voter. The letter continues, there is clear evidence that 10 going way up to 20. I can tell you this. When you hear, while there is no evidence to prove any wrongdoing,
I have a feeling this video isn't going to work.
And the press will say more votes than it had voters. Also, it's a disgrace that the United States of America.
Yep. Of course, it just randomly cuts out. This is my life.
Restore the vital civic tradition of in-person voting on election day. Of all of the stuff that we had to live with. But now the caravans, they think Biden. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not.
There it is.
We fight. But I said something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. Can't have happened. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Our exciting adventures and boldest endeavors.
That right there is I was on, I frequently browse the conservative subreddit because I want to understand a lot of the reactions, responses to things that happen. And this is where I got the comment that I shared on Facebook earlier, where one commenter was defending the protesters by basically saying, like, well, what do you expect? Like, we tried every other avenue. Completely unironically, by the way. Completely unironically. But neither here nor there. Neither here nor there that he did that completely unironically. But here we are. And yeah, I am absolutely disgusted with it. But let me see. Yeah. No matter how much you disagree with the results, the process, or whatever, this is not the way to do this. I can't agree with this. This behavior is not what we are as a political party, nor as a nation. You want to prove your point, this is the worst way to do it. Great. I have no problems with that comment. No problem with that comment. And I would apply it to the Black Lives Matter rioting and looting as well. But, which, by the way, most of those weren't even done by either people that lived in whatever city the riots were happening, or were done by, not verifiably, but there were agent provocateurs involved in a lot of this, like the dude that started the initial riots by breaking the windows of an AutoZone during protests, right? But so he says, no matter how much you disagree with the results, the process, or whatever, this is not the way to do this. And then this guy's like, well, what is the best way? Seems like all other avenues were exhausted. So if these people believe that all other avenues were exhausted, and then Trump tells them, fight like hell, what else are they going to do? What is the other option? Because I don't think there is one. But on top of that, you've got Trump, you've got Ivanka calling them, American patriots when she told them to go home. And what amazes me even more is some of these people are actively trying to say that these were Antifa people while using pictures from one of the most like well-known pro-Trump supporters. Let me see. Did Antifa cause today's violence? Which, by the way, Antifa, once again, not an organization. There we go. This guy. So this guy is being touted as like, oh, he's secretly Antifa investigating because they point to this like it's actually funny because they say like look closely at the guy's tattoo underneath the fur on his hat, and they say like look closely in an image, mind you, that is surrounded by like Make America Great Again hats, Trump Trump is my president, all those, right? But Jake, I think it's Angeli. So he's been photographed all over, and he's being photographed as a guy who is supposedly Antifa. But this dude is a huge Q supporter. In fact, one of the main images that has been shared on social media today that to try and point to him as a secret Antifa member is a cropped photo of him holding a sign that says Q sent me when he was at other protests. So I don't know how to tell anyone this, but like, no, this one verifiably not Antifa starting it. Unless this dude has been like, I mean, I guess there's like a 0.0001% chance, but no is going to be what I say. And these were people that marched on the Capitol or marched down Pennsylvania Avenue, went to the Capitol from the rally. So it's not like this is something like these people sat and listened to Trump talk for an hour just to fake, and cheered him on actively at every turn, by the way, in that speech, and then went down the street and broke into the Capitol all to make it look bad. And I highly doubt that. It is interesting to see Ilhan Omar drawing up articles of impeachment. It will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow after all of this is done. I know that electors are meeting today in order to actually certify the election results. But either way, like, this is disgusting to me. It's disgusting because it's a giant double standard, A. But B, like, there's nothing good that comes of today. Like, I don't know what they expected was going to happen by them storming the Capitol. Like, this accomplishes nothing other than reveal a whole ton about the state of our country. And the bottom line is, today isn't something new. Today isn't something that should have surprised anyone. Today is the result of years and years and years of conditioning. And I think I'm hoping that with stuff like this, we really do take the opportunity to reevaluate and to have an honest conversation about where we are as a country with this kind of thing. Because the bottom line is this shouldn't have surprised anyone, something like this. And I'm really hoping it didn't. I'm wondering too, can I find... I wonder if I can find anything here. Recordings, planning for... Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to worry about that one so much because this is wild. Police brace for pro-Trump rallies when Congress meets January 6th to certify Biden's win. I'm trying to figure out what, like, they actively opened gates for protesters to come through. Like, they opened gates for protesters to come straight through. Now, protesters then actually broke into the Capitol building. There was a clip I watched of one using a riot shield to actually bust out a window, and so that they could go in, right? But there was pretty much at no point a whole lot of resistance. I actually watched one cop running up the stairs away from protesters while telling protesters to stop and to turn around, and they didn't, and so he just kept running up the stairs and running away from protesters that had already infiltrated. And that's, yep, see, these are Antifa and Patriots clothes. Look closely. Just look around. But also, no, he's a well-known Q supporter. See, and you've got, like, this is what happens. This right here is exactly what happens when you have a president who has been basically antagonizing or like affirming the feelings of his supporters about the fake media, right? This kind of thing is the result of that kind of rhetoric for years, which is absolutely not a surprise at all. And this is light. I'm actually surprised it wasn't worse than this, to be honest. But oh, and I'm pretty sure Caitlin McEnany tried to give the White House credit for deploying the National Guard today, when Trump is the one, or I mean, Pence is the one who put in the initial request for the National Guard. It was denied by the Department of Defense. And then Virginia is the one who sent state troopers, or sent their state troopers first. So it's not even like any members of the White House really did the right thing, except arguably Pence has done mostly the right thing today. And his reward was a noose outside of the White House while people chanted in the Capitol building, chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." That's the kind of thing that Mike Pence is rewarded for actually doing the right thing today for. And,
Object to the formal counting of the votes. They will allow the certification to go forward because of what happened today.
That's right. Senator Kelly Loeffler, who had really the worst political day of her career, her short career in the U.S. Congress, had perhaps one of her most notable moments when she said she will no longer object to the Georgia recount or the Georgia counting because of what happened today. And I think the entire tone of this debate, which this is the debate about the presidency and the electoral count.
Did she really do that?
This is when we thought was going to be about the claims
did she actually do that?
Voting, all of that. No, instead this is really about the soul of America and about where we are, why we are here, and senators searching how to get past it. I think we will be having this moment for a long time. And I think the House is about to come into session. My TV is on full blast, excuse me.
The chair will address the chamber.
Yeah, we are watching at the same time. The Senate has been in session, the House just now coming back into session. Perhaps we want to dip into that for just a moment.
Man, that's so loud. I apologize.
And so, you know, as much as we think that maybe cooler heads are prevailing in the Senate, let's not make any assumptions about what we might see in the House.
And I really wish that there was no... Okay. Fox Business coming in clutch.
Senator from Illinois.
President. In 2004, I packed up my rucksack, laced up my boots, and deployed to Iraq, ready to sacrifice whatever was asked of me, all because I love this nation, willing to sacrifice my life if needed. Because I believe in the sanctity of our electoral system, which had declared George W. Bush my commander-in-chief. I earned my wounds, proudly fighting in a war I did not support, on the orders of a president I did not vote for, because I believed in, and I still do believe in, the values of our nation, because I believe in a government of, by, and for the people, where voters choose who leads them, not the other way around. I have spent my entire adult life defending our democracy, but I never thought it would be necessary to defend it from an attempted violent overthrow in our nation's own Capitol building. Well, I refuse to let anyone intent on instigating chaos or inciting violence deter me from carrying out my constitutional duties. You know, when my Army buddies and I raised our right hands, when the 45,000 troops in Arizona raised their right hands and swore to protect and defend the Constitution, we did not qualify our oath by saying that we'd follow orders only when the commander-in-chief was someone whose election we were happy with. Just like when every senator in this chamber was sworn into office, we didn't mutter under our breath that we discharge our duties only when it served our political interests or helped us to avoid the wrath of a petty, insecure, wannabe tin pot dictator on the precipice of losing power and relevance.
Amazing.
No.
What a statement.
There's no ambiguity here. Joe Biden won the election with a record number of votes. Republican officials nationwide confirmed those results, including in Arizona, as has judge after Trump-appointed judge. Even Trump's Attorney General admitted that the United States Department of Justice had not found widespread fraud that would have affected the outcome. Yet still, many of my Republican colleagues are asking us to ignore all of that. With no evidence of their own, they're asking us to ignore court rulings, ignore Republican election officials, and even worse, ignore the will of the people across this vast, great nation. By trying to overturn this election, they are placing more trust in Reddit conspiracy theories over the Constitution.
Hey, Reddit got a shout out.
Proving that appeasing Trump is more important to them than protecting the most basic tenet of our republic, the adherence
On
to free.
it says, one country, one destiny. One country, one destiny, written on the flag. That was also what was embroidered in Abraham Lincoln's coat that he had on that fateful night. Lincoln's party, Lincoln's message, one country, one destiny. So on this holy day of Epiphany, let us pray. I'm a big believer in prayer. Let us pray that there will be peace on earth.
I'm all for prayer, but not...
And that it will begin with us.
Separation of church and state, please.
Let us pray that God will continue to bless America.
Separation of church and state.
With that, let us proceed
Please.
With our responsibilities to the Constitution, to which we have just within 72 hours taken the oath to uphold. For what purpose does the gentleman from Maryland seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition to the objection.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, it is a sad day in America. It is a wrenching day in America. It is a day in which our words and our actions have had consequences of a very, very negative nature. We ought to watch our words. and think what it may mean to some. My remarks were written before
I wish that I could play
the
real life
tragic,
in fast
dangerous,
forward.
and
Like,
unacceptable
I wish I
actions.
could like ×2 speed this
And
speed right now.
unacceptable is such a
But oh
tame
well.
word. My remarks started with, Madam Speaker, the American people today are witnessing one of the greatest challenges to our democracy in its 244-year history.
What was it? 24.4 year history?
Little did I know that this Capitol would be attacked by the enemy within. I was here on 9/11.
I don't understand how this is like how what happened today is a surprise to anyone. It's more like the shock of it, sure. Like just the visceral response. You can be as prepared as you want for something and still have it like kind of take you aback. But in general, like
it's just
never
one of those
what I
things
have
I
thought.
could not have imagined that we'd be here, but we are here. And where I think we are is we're very close, or we came very close to the brink today, and we need to, in my view, we need to recognize how close we are. Not
the president, or they didn't. I urge you to reject this, and I deeply appreciate the opportunity to serve with every single one of you. Thank you, Mr. We will be the ones that will have disenfranchised every single person who cast a vote in this election, whether they voted for the president or they didn't. I urge you to reject this, and I deeply appreciate the opportunity to serve with every single one of you.
Wait, what did he?
I was thinking about that history today as we saw the mob riot in Washington, D.C., thinking about what the founders were thinking about when armed gangs doing the work for politicians.
Today.
Friendly reminder
Move forward.
that wait, the 2016 elections. Some smashed shop and car windows, threw firecrackers, and set rubbish alight. Police declared a riot, made 26 arrests. A, didn't kill anyone. B, didn't attack and attempt to undermine the presidency directly, even if yeah, that's an easy riot to decry. But this one, today's is inexcusable to me. And there is no comparison in my mind for what happened then versus what happened today. Maybe I'm wrong, but there just isn't one. Like, this is years and years of conditioning from Trump on top of years and years of just kind of the American propaganda machine, working at its best for American exceptionalism. But today was absolutely disgusting. But it is like, what do you expect when you have a president who's always told his supporters to, and I mean not revolt, but basically he's always egged them on in all of their feelings and sentiments against the nation, against the government. And what amazes me is that so many people have bought into this, like this whole election thing, and with the courts failing, right? Now it's the courts that are the problem. But many of the judges that have thrown out his cases were people that Trump himself nominated or that were confirmed during his presidency. So either Trump is entirely incapable of draining the swamp, or he just cannot accept reality. To me, this all seems like a massive grift. This all seems like a massive play for money. For example, his initial fundraisers for the election lawsuits, most of that money didn't even go towards the lawsuits. But like, when you have a rhetoric that basically preys on the worst of a person when it comes to their anger and distrust and distaste, when you have years and years of rhetoric saying that Obama wasn't born in America and that he's actually a Muslim in disguise and a terrorist trying to bring Sharia law, like, all of this stuff has existed in the public sphere throughout history. I would actually say that so they found 2 explosive devices apparently in the one at the DNC headquarters and one at the RNC headquarters. And I would argue that I'm surprised they didn't find more, or that more didn't happen today, and that it calmed down relatively as quickly as it did. Because to me, stuff like this is more of a long time coming. Like, this is starting to see, not even starting, this is the opportunity for more and more people to see what reality has been like for decades. Today isn't really like today in my mind isn't something new. Today is the result, the natural result of something that has been in the process and in development for years. And unfortunately, like, I can't even with a good conscience say that I'm I can really exempt my own denomination from this, because a lot of what I was looking at video lights. A lot of the way that we have done evangelism in regards to understanding Daniel and Revelation has also led to some of this too. But that's what's so annoying, is people are acting like the white supremacy thing is so new, but it's not. It never has been new. I guess that was an oxymoron. I guess it was new at the very very onset of white supremacy in all of human history. But white supremacy is nothing new. None of this is anything new. I'm glad Twitter's finally locking Trump's account. Why is Tucker Carlson
of the woman who was shot inside the U.S. Capitol this afternoon. In the footage, which we're not going to show you because it's too upsetting, but you can find it on the internet, the woman is standing in a hallway right off the House floor at the center of the Capitol building. She appears to be in her 20s. She's got an American flag tied around her neck.
Okay, we're not watching a 7-minute clip. I'm not going to do that to everyone. Yeah, I'm not going to watch this 7-minute clip on stream, but I am interested to see, like, fueling anti-government and fueling anti-media rhetoric is the problem. That's the kind of thing that got us here. And this is why it seems so, I guess not disingenuous, but it seems like such a waste of time for a lot of Christian churches to be sitting here talking about what kind of music is acceptable in church. Like, we sit and argue over things that ultimately don't really matter and have no, like, we sit here and argue over whether or not we should allow drums in a church or whether or not we should do this or that in church, and people go home and engage in conspiracy theorist content, engage in racist actions, engage in events like today, and we're over here arguing about, like, what specific interpretation of a Bible verse we care about, or, like, culturally what thing that we want or we should change. But, like, we've got real heart work and real spiritual work that needs to be done, and we need to figure out a way to not undo the damage, but at least find some way to move forward from the trauma that, or from the we need to find a way to I don't want to say unbrainwash either, but really undo that machinery, that thinking that is now ingrained in people. Because, like, protesters today literally put up a giant cross. They literally put up a giant cross on the front lawn. But that's not Christianity. But so many people have bought into this narrative, and Christianity has not helped it by major evangelicalism and Protestantism, like, diving in to support Trump for political power. But, like, that's not Christianity. But all these people are convinced that it is. And we're over here arguing about what interpretation of a Bible verse matters the most, or what we should do culturally. And that, like, we need to figure out some way to address that kind of thing. That's amazing. That screenshot is amazing. No, McConnell talks too slow. I'm all about watching clips, and I will on my own time, but I'm not going to put stream through that. Oh, look, now there's all the guard. Shocker. Now they all decided to show up. I am glad that both are reconvening tonight to actually certify results. But amazing. A member of the Senate leadership tells NBC News that senators are determined to stay until their work of counting the electoral votes is done. Which, yeah, I did actually confirm earlier that a bunch of GOP senators have changed their position and are no longer objecting specifically because of today's events. Which I'm sad that it had to go. I'm sad that it had to get this far for them to do that, but. Let's see. Just scrolling through Twitter trending is a lot of fun. Now, just so we're clear, I don't look to get all of my news from Twitter. What I actually look for is the people who, I'm looking for the people who are sharing clips and who are sharing photos, things like that. Like, that's what I'm looking for when I'm on Twitter. I'm not, and for quotes, but I'm not looking for like actual, like, necessarily information in the same vein. Because going to like YouTube and trying to find a clip, it can take forever. But Twitter has become a scene. Like, this is wild. Literally, there are. I've seen this from another angle, and there are protesters peering through the glass that they broke on the other side. Oh yeah, there's the noose to hang Mike Pence. That's what they literally. Okay, can we not do? Man, I just gave the sun a click. Never give the sun any of your clicks. I wish I hadn't done that. Which, if anyone knows, the Sun is a really, really terrible news outlet in the UK. More of a tabloid than anything else. Let me see if there are any other cool... I love that people are finally deciding to blame Trump for his rhetoric and irresponsible behavior. But the defense today for the Capitol was weak at best. He became president by, I would honestly say, partially the DNC not taking this seriously, or Hillary not taking campaigning seriously too. But I mean, he did it by memeing his way in and by capitalizing on a anti-government and resistance sentiment within the population. Like that's how he did it. By the way, the funniest clip in all of today, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there's a scene of there's a video feed of protesters walking through roped off areas, and they're like staying in the roped off path instead of like going outside of the path. Like they broke down barricades, they broke windows to get in, they went through offices and rifled through everything, but no, they're gonna be respectful to the gated off path that they're supposed to take to make their way through. All right, I'm still trying to find. Oops, sorry about that. That was real loud. All right, I've got like 3 minutes and then I've got to run because I need to eat. I haven't actually eaten food today or eaten dinner tonight. All right, I found it. So watch this. Police. They're literally opening the barricade and letting them in further. And we're gonna sit here like, thanks, Roque. We're gonna sit here like that didn't just happen. Like there are other scenes where they did actually, like there are other clips where protesters did actually break down those barricades and get through anyway. But wow. They just let them through. And turned their back to them, by the way. Disgusting to me. Today's a sad day, but it isn't a surprising day, unfortunately. And I'm interested to see what the response is going to be in the days following this for Trump's presidency, for the end of Trump's presidency, and to see how people will continue to respond. But with that, I'm going to call it a night here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Appreciate you being here, and yeah, have a good night. We'll see you later on.